Who is the best prospect from every team in Major League Baseball? That's exactly what I'm going to be telling you in today's video, going through all 30 Major League Baseball teams and telling you who I think is the best prospect in each of their farm systems. Hopefully, you at home maybe can learn a thing or two about your favorite player or who the next great young star could be in Major League Baseball. And honestly, this prospect class that we have right now is absolutely loaded. And I left off guys who are in the majors right now. So no Francisco Alvarez on the Mets, no Corbin Carroll on the Diamondbacks, no Jordan Walker on the Cardinals. If you're at the Major League level, I'm not including you in today's video. So before I do get going into the video, I do need to give a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, SoRare. SoRare is a revolutionary fantasy baseball game and marketplace transforming fans into owners. SoRare MLB is free to play with officially licensed digital cards featuring players from across MLB's 30 teams. Week 4 is about to end, which means that you can start your SoRare journey right now in Week 5, draft your completely free team, and start playing today by clicking the link in the description. As you can see, this is my team for week number 4, where I have Shohei Ohtani, Evan Phillips, Jose Ramirez, Wander Franco, Julio Rodriguez, Nolan Arenado, and Randy Arozarena. All cards I got for absolutely free just from playing. And depending on how well Wander Franco, Nolan Arenado, and Randy do in this last game this week, I can move up the leaderboard. If I get inside the top 200 of the minors tournament, I will get a limited card, which will then allow me to play in better tournaments. There are limited cards that are numbered to 5,000, rare red cards that are numbered to 1,000, super rare blue cards that are numbered to 100. That means only 100 of them in the world exist. And then, of course, you have the unique one-of-ones that look so sick. This is what you're chasing. It's a really cool, fun, new way to play fantasy baseball. I've been absolutely loving it. I'm all over the SoRare train, and you get free rewards just for playing every single week. So if you want to try out SoRare for yourself, link will be in the description. Go ahead, sign up, and you can start playing absolutely free with a chance to win some really awesome rewards in game week 5. I want to see what teams you guys are rocking, so make sure you tweet me or DM me, whatever it is, show me what your SoRare team looks like, and good luck this week. The best prospect for the Houston Astros has to be Drew Gilbert, first round pick in the 2022 MLB draft out of the University of Tennessee. Gilbert is a center fielder. The dude plays with a lot of swag, and he's also a really good player. One of the better players in college baseball during the 2022 season with the University of Tennessee. He's continued on that performance at the minor league level thus far. He apparently impressed the heck out of the Astros front office this spring training, and is a guy who is currently starting in high A ball, but maybe by the end of the year, if he continues to play well, could get to the major league level. He's got power, he can hit for contact, he's got speed, and he's a great center fielder. Drew Gilbert's the complete package and definitely the best prospect on the Astros. For the Los Angeles Angels, their best prospect has to be Zach Neto. Shout out Zach Neto, Campbell, Camel. Dude is an absolute stud. One thing that I love about Zach Neto is that with less than 2 strikes, he takes a war hack. Big leg kick, trying to hit a home run. But when there are 2 strikes, he shortens up his swing a ton and goes for more of a contact-oriented approach. And even last year in his first season in minor league baseball at AA, he only had a K rate of about 20%, which is phenomenal for a player. He's 21 years old, plays a good shortstop, similar to Drew Gilbert, like I just mentioned, has good pop, has good speed, has a good glove. Zach Neto is the total package, and honestly, I would be shocked if we don't see him at the major league level for the Angels this year. This dude is a ball player, been watching him since he was in college, and he is just really, really good. One of the better shortstop prospects in all of baseball. Angels fans should be pumped. For the best prospect in the Oakland A's system, not a deep system, but I went with Tyler Soderstrom. While Soderstrom is a bit of a man without a position, there is no doubt that this dude can absolutely mash. Last year in 134 games in the minors between high A and triple A, 29 homers, 21 doubles, 5 triples, and 105 RBIs, hitting .267 with a .324 on base, .501 slugging for an .825 OPS. He was drafted as a catcher, but looks like he's going to be probably used more at that first base position. The bat plays very, very well. Big power from him. It's just about finding a position that works, but Tyler Soderstrom, definitely the best prospect in the A system. The best prospect from north of the border, Toronto Blue Jays, Ricky Tiedemann. Tiedemann was a 3rd round pick in the 2021 draft out of Golden West College. If you don't know it, that's because it's not really a big school. Last year in his first minor league season, Ricky really impressed everybody. 78 innings pitched, 117 strikeouts for a whip at .864. He had a strikeout rate above 30%, got all the way to AA, continued his success there. He gave up no hits, didn't walk that many batters, and gave up no home runs. If he does well at AA, maybe he even gets a shot at 20 years old at the major league level this season. Tiedemann's got a good fastball that sits in the mid-90s, a strong slider, and an excellent changeup. We saw him show it off in the Futures game last year. Ricky Tiedemann looks like a very, very special pitcher for the Blue Jays, and if he dominates, there's no reason not to bring him up. Next up, the best prospect prospect in the Atlanta Braves farm system is going to be Owen Murphy. The Braves farm system is not the strongest right now, so we go with Owen Murphy, the first-round pick last year. Murphy only made 5 appearances in the minor leagues last year, so the numbers aren't really that sticky, but he was striking out the batters that he was facing. He is only 18 years old, and he does have some really good stuff. His fastball, again, sits in those mid to low 90s, but he's only 18 and he's growing. But he does have 4 pitches with good control. All of them are about average or better. Just looks like a solid pitcher in the Braves system that's going to get a little bit more seasoning as he gets older. Yeah, I mean, the best prospect in the Brewers system, maybe in all of baseball, is Jackson Chourio. Chourio is getting that generational tag that we saw guys like Vlad Jr., Wander Franco, Fernando Tatis, and Ronald Acuna Jr. got. At 18 years of age last season, he got all the way up to Double-A in the Brewers system. Granted, struggled in Double-A in the 6 games, but he crushed Low-A, crushed High-A, and he's starting the year at Double-A as a 19-year-old in Biloxi. Chourio's got the 5 tools. He's got power, he's got speed, he can hit for average, he's a good defender. Would like to see him walk a little bit more and maybe strike out a little bit less, but Chourio is one of the most exciting young prospects in all of baseball. If you're in a dynasty fantasy league, you got to pick this guy up if he's available. He could be the next great player. Cardinals had a couple options for their best prospects in their farm system. I ended up going with Tink Hence over Mason Wynn. Last year in 52 innings in minor league baseball, Tink absolutely dominated. 52 and a thirds innings, like I said, 81 strikeouts of the 195 batters he faced. That K rate is disgusting. Wasn't giving up hits, wasn't walking anybody, wasn't giving up home runs. Tink was able to touch 99 in 2022, which is huge. Has a great curveball with some big bite and a pretty solid changeup as well that gives him 3 above average pitches. I don't think Tink Hence really has a chance to make the majors this year. He doesn't have a lot of pitching underneath his belt right now. Only 64 professional innings, including fall league, but someone to keep an eye out for in a couple years in this Cardinals rotation that could be an absolute ace. Unfortunately for me as a Mets fan, the best prospect in the Cubs system is Pete Crow Armstrong, who was traded for Javier Baez and Trevor Williams. Yeah, PCA looks like that dude. He looks really, really good. He's up at Double-A right now to start the 2023 season as a 21-year-old after a great first full season in the minors with the Cubs last year. 101 games, 16 homers, 20 doubles, 10 triples, and 61 RBIs, while also stealing 32 bases, hitting .312 with a .376 on base, .520 slugging, .896 OPS. Another one of these prospects who is just simply 5 tool. And for a guy who's maybe not the biggest, he's about 6 foot, 185. He does have enough pop in that bat to be very effective and get that 5 tool, I think, kind of tag. Cubs should be super excited they got this guy for basically free. He could be the center fielder for a long time in Chicago. Ooh, for the Diamondbacks, this was so tough between Drew Jones and Jordan Lawler. But I ended up going with Jordan Lawler just because we've seen a little bit more, even though Drew Jones is one of the best prospects in all of baseball. But so is Jordan Lawler. After an injury-shortened 2021, we saw a full year of Lawler in 2022. 100 games, 16 homers, 18 doubles, 62 RBI, stealing 39 bases, only getting caught 6 times, .303 average, .401 on base, .509 slugging, .910 OPS. He's at Double-A as a 20-year-old to start the season. Jordan Lawler is just so disgusting. I still can't believe he fell all the way to 6, like right in the Diamondbacks' lap, because this dude is an absolute stud. Like, you're looking at one of the best prospects in all of baseball at Double-A as a 20-year-old. Sky's the limit for Jordan Lawler. We're talking MVP potential type stuff. Got the power, got the speed, got the glove. He's got everything. One of the best prospects in the entire league. Again, for the Los Angeles Dodgers, the best prospect for them will be Diego Cartaya. Cartaya had a really awesome 2022. While he maybe does swing and miss a little more than we like, and his average isn't like necessarily high per se, the power is there. He's a very solid catcher. He definitely needs to improve a little defensively, but he has the tools to be very successful behind the plate and not necessarily move from that position. But the pop is really what's exciting about Diego Cartaya. The dude just has some really good power potential. And another one of these really young players, 21-year-old, starting at Double-A this season for the Dodgers. Keep an eye out for him. Could be the future catcher of this team. Although Will Smith's not going anywhere. It's just Diego Cartaya also is very good. For the San Francisco Giants, I'm actually going back to Marco Luciano. I've been oscillating on him. Sometimes I love him. Sometimes I don't get it. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, this can be the best prospect in the world. Sometimes I'm like, maybe he's a little overrated. But I'm back on the hype train with Marco Luciano. Saw some stuff that made me more excited about him. Didn't get to play in as many games last year, 65 due to injury. But in those 65, he did show some good pop, 11 homers, 12 doubles in those 65 games. Haven't seen him play just yet this season, but Luciano definitely has big potential. I don't think he stays at shortstop, though. That's my only thing. He's probably more of a third baseman, second baseman, just because the range didn't look that great. His glove's a little iffy, but the bat is for real with Luciano, and he's definitely a future star for this Giants roster. For the Cleveland Guardians, I gotta show some love to Gavin Williams. He is their best prospect, in my opinion. 6'6", 255-pound pitcher out of East Carolina University, picked in the first round of the 2021 MLB draft. One of my favorite pitching prospects out of that draft. The dude throws a super heavy, super hard fastball with 3 other good off speeds with a solid curveball, a really nice slider, and a great changeup as well. Williams also dominated the minors last year in 115 innings between High A and Double-A. He had a 1.96 ERA, a whip under #1 at .948, striking out 33% of the batters he faced, walking only 8.8%. Gavin Williams has some absolutely disgusting stuff. We know the Guardians are able to develop pitching better than almost anybody. Gavin Williams is going to be another one of these dudes. Starting the year in Double-A, made a great first start, struck out 9 in 4 innings. Disgusting. For the Seattle Mariners' best prospect, it's clearly going to be Harry Ford. There are some other great names in that farm system, but Harry Ford seems to be a step above the rest. 20-year-old catching prospect, just one of the best athletes, honestly, in the minors right now. He could play catcher, he could play center field, probably could play shortstop if you needed him to. He's that good. We also got a glimpse of him in the World Baseball Classic, catching for Great Britain, being one of the better players on that team, going by Harrison Ford when he was playing there. In what was his first full season in the minors last year, 11 homers, 23 doubles, 4 triples, and 65 RBIs. He also stole 23 bases. Where do you see a catcher with that kind of athleticism? Doesn't really exist. JT Realmuto is the guy that comes to my head, and he does look really good at the catcher position as well. So all things going together for Harry Ford, one of the best prospects in baseball, and definitely the best prospect, in my opinion, in the Mariners organization. Marlins farm system is bad, but Yuri Perez, this guy is good. 6'8", 220 pounds. Yuri Perez is ridiculous. Oh yeah, he's also turning 20 in like a couple days, and he already got to Double-A last season. Granted, it was a little bit of a heat check. Didn't necessarily have the greatest of success at Double-A, an ERA in the 4s, but for a 19-year-old pitching at Double-A, to still have a K rate above 30%, basically, pretty disgusting stuff. Perez has a fastball that sits in the high 90s, gets up to 100, has a really good changeup that actually like generates a ton of swing and miss, and has tightened up his slider and curveball to make them more effective pitches, to give him 4 solid pitches, including that elite fastball and changeup. I don't know when Yuri Perez comes up. The Marlins probably should call him up soon, just because why not? He's exciting. That team needs as much help as they can get. He may struggle at first because he is so young, but the stuff is there to be one of the best pitchers in baseball one day. Now, for my New York Mets, best prospect in the Mets system has to be Brett Baty. Francisco Alvarez called up, no longer calling him a prospect. It's going to go with Brett Baty. Baty is just a really good hitter. Needs work defensively at third base. Definitely not his strong suit. But at the plate, the dude is comfortable. He's got pop. He hits the ball to all fields. He looks really good. Last year between Double-A and Triple-A, 19 homers, 22 doubles, 60 RBIs, hitting .315 with a .410 on base, .533 slugging, .943 OPS. Stuff that makes you really excited as a Mets fan, and he's already been tearing up Triple-A so far in 4 games with a couple homers and a double. I think he should be playing every day at third base. I'm sure it's going to happen soon. Brett Baty is an absolute stud. If you guys remember some of my favorite picks from the 2021 MLB draft, you would know that I was all over James Wood. Saw this guy play at IMG Academy in Florida as a high schooler, and I was blown away by the talent, by the skill, by the athleticism. He ended up going to the Nationals in the Juan Soto trade, and he looks like he's going to be a serious piece for them. Last year in his first full season in the minors, 76 games, 12 homers, 27 doubles, a triple with 62 RBIs while stealing 20 bases, hitting .313 with a .420 on base, .536 slugging, .956 OPS. And again, I told you the athleticism impressed me. You have to keep in mind that James Wood is 6'6", 240 pounds, runs like a gazelle, has some crazy pop, great exit velos. We're probably looking at a guy who could be maybe the #1 prospect in baseball by year's end. So yeah, you trade away Juan Soto, who is weirdly only 4 years older than James Wood, which is kind of just like insane to say out loud, but he looks like he's going to be a legit good player for the Nationals for the future. Next up, the Baltimore Orioles and their loaded farm system. Best prospect, though, has to be #1 overall pick Jackson Holliday. Son of Matt Holliday, Jackson went #1 overall in last year's draft, and he's an absolute stud at the shortstop position. Last year, Holliday got to play some minor league baseball, most of his games at the A-ball level, which is great. He had a home run, 5 doubles, 9 RBIs, a .911 OPS, and he's already off to a great start for that same A-ball team this year. A 4-for-4 day with 4 RBIs. Holliday is a 5-tool player at the shortstop position. He has speed, he has power, he has a good glove, has a good arm, and he can hit for contact. There's a reason he went #1 overall. Expect big things from Jackson Holliday in the future. Best prospect in that system right now. For the San Diego Padres, their best prospect is going to be Jackson Merrill. Jackson Merrill was a first-round pick back in the 2021 draft out of a high school in Maryland. Not somewhere you normally see a lot of first-round picks come out of, but Jackson Merrill has been fantastic. Going into the year, he's been ranked inside the top 20 of many prospect lists and is just one of the best young prospects in all of baseball. While he did struggle a bit in the fall league last year, he absolutely tore up A-ball, 6 homers, 13 doubles, 4 triples, and 40 RBIs while stealing 11 bases. Finished with a .339 average, .395 on base, .511 slugging, and a .906 OPS. The dude was an absolute beast. He's up at high A to start this year and could be a huge trade piece for the Padres at the trade deadline. There's just not really any spot for him since he is a shortstop, and they have Xander Bogaerts and Tatis and Machado locked up for quite some time, but keep an eye out for Jackson Merrill, one of the best prospects in the game. Despite an injury, the best prospect in the Phillies farm system is without a doubt Andrew Painter. Painter was selected in the first round out of Calvary Christian High School in Florida back in 2021. He was one of my favorite prospects in that entire draft. Painter stands 6'7" and has unbelievable mechanics. For those of you who play baseball, you know the taller you are, the harder it is to replicate those mechanics, and Painter's are flawless, and he had an unbelievable full season last year in 2022, got all the way up to Double-A as a 19-year-old. If he didn't get hurt to start the year, he probably would have made the major league roster. In 103 innings last year, he had a 1.56 ERA, a whip at .887. He had a 38% K rate, wasn't walking anybody, wasn't giving up any hits, no home runs. I mean, Andrew Painter is the real deal. He is one of the best, if not the best pitching prospect in all of baseball. Whenever he is healthy, he will be coming up to this Phillies roster. He's just an unbelievable talent. Gonna make losing Aaron Nola in free agency a little bit easier for sure. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, they have a couple good options, but I ended up going with Endy Rodriguez. I'm a huge Endy Rodriguez fan. I think he's one of the best young prospects in baseball right now. And I'm honestly shocked that the Pirates have not called him up just yet. Last year, he went all the way from high A to triple A and had success at every single level. He finished the year with 25 homers, 39 doubles, 95 RBIs, hitting .323 with a .407 on base, .590 slugging, and a .996 OPS. He plays catcher, he plays first base, he plays left field, might play a little second base. The dude can do it all. They're gonna find a spot for him because his bat is absolutely phenomenal. Just wish the Mets kept him because, yeah, he was a Mets prospect. Would have been great to hang on to Endy, but now the Pirates got him, and I think he's the best prospect in that system. For the Texas Rangers, we gotta give a shout out to Evan Carter. Evan Carter is an absolute dog. Second round pick out of Elizabethton High School in Tennessee in 2020. Carter has ascended through the prospect rankings. Last year, he played 106 games in the minors between high A and double A as a 19-year-old, 12 homers, 21 doubles, 10 triples, and 73 RBIs while stealing 28 bases, hitting .295 with a .397 on base, .489 slugging, and an .885 OPS. He's starting the year in double A out in Frisco. A dude who, if he has a phenomenal season, maybe gets a call up at some point because the Rangers could use some outfield help. Evan Carter is an absolute stud. Fast, great arm, great in the outfield, showing some pop as well. He is the real deal. Rangers got an absolute steal in that insane farm system. For the Tampa Bay Rays, their best prospect is going to be Taj Bradley. 5th round pick back in 2018 out of high school in Georgia. Taj Bradley is another one of these prospects who will probably make it to the major league level this season. While his first 2 starts in AAA have gone a little bit shaky, the stuff is obviously still great with Taj Bradley. Oh my God. As I'm recording this, I'm literally seeing that Taj Bradley has been called up by the Tampa Bay Rays. Couldn't be more topical to talk about him. Here's what to expect from Taj Bradley. Bradley's got a fastball that sits in the mid to high 90s with a really good cutter that can sometimes look a little slidery, a pretty solid changeup, and working on a curveball. The velo bump is huge for his game, and it allows for that cutter, that curveball, that changeup to look even more effective. He's going to be one of the next great young Tampa Bay Rays pitchers, maybe not this year, but in the future, you're going to know Taj Bradley's name as that guy on the Rays who's disgusting. One of my favorite players in the entire minor leagues, best prospect for the Boston Red Sox, Marcelo Meyer. Number 4 overall pick back in 2021, could have been the number 1 overall pick. I mean, this dude just feels like Corey Seager 2.0. The swing, the glove, everything I see, I go, Corey Seager, pretty good player to be like. Meyer last year in his 19-year-old season in the minors played between A and high A, 13 homers, 30 doubles, 53 RBIs with 17 stolen bases, hitting .280 with a .399 on base, .489 slugging, .887 OPS, and he's starting the year at high A this year with the Red Sox. He's a consensus top 15 prospect by pretty much every major publication. Every single person who's ever watched this guy play goes, oh, Marcelo Meyer is the real deal. He's a stud, and he fell right into the lap of the Red Sox at number 4 overall in 2021, shortstop of the future, without a doubt. One of the craziest prospects in baseball is up next. That's Cincinnati Reds shortstop, Elly De La Cruz. Elly De La Cruz has had a meteoric rise to where he's at right now. A relatively unknown prospect just a few years ago, burst onto the scene in 2021 with a strong 19-year-old season, but really went off last year in 2022, where he hit 28 homers, 31 doubles, stole 47 bases, hit .304 with a .359 on base, .586 slugging, .945 OPS. He stands 6'5", 200 pounds, runs like a gazelle, hits for some just unreal power, and is a switch hitting shortstop. Yeah, you can see why people get excited about Elly De La Cruz. He's unreal. Doesn't really seem like he's from this planet. Best player in the Colorado Rockies farm system is definitely Zach Veen. Zach Veen was a 9th overall pick back in 2020 out of Spruce Creek High School in Port Orange, Florida, and he's just pretty much mashed every single year. Now, he did struggle a little bit last year at AA, way more successful at high A, but he was only 20 years old, and he's starting the year off in AA this year. Zach Veen is another one of these 5-tool players. Good power, good speed, good athleticism, good arm, good contact. He's just overall a really good player, and I feel like he's going to have an amazing year in Colorado. His left-handed swing is just, it's amazing. It's picture perfect. You love everything about it. I'm a big Zach Veen fan, as you could probably tell. He showed up in the Fall League last year. I expect him to show up this year in AA. Another outfield prospect up next here for the Kansas City Royals, that's going to be Gavin Cross, who also weirdly went 9th overall in the 2022 MLB draft out of Virginia Tech. Gavin Cross is extremely twitchy, and he showed some of the potential last season between rookie ball and A ball with the Royals. In 29 games, 8 homers, 7 doubles, 2 triples, and 25 RBIs, hitting .312 with a .437 on base, .633 slugging, .1070 OPS. Yeah, those numbers are crazy good. He's got pop, he's got speed, he's a really athletic player, and he's a little quirky too. Like I said, he's very twitchy. He's starting the year off at high high A Quad Cities with the Royals. Expect him to get to double A by the end of the year. He's too talented to stay down there. Could be a future corner outfielder, maybe even center fielder for the Royals. The best prospect for the Minnesota Twins is someone I'm extremely high on, Emmanuel Rodriguez. I absolutely love the way this guy plays baseball. He's only 20 years old, and he has had some injury issues, only played in 47 games last year at A-ball, but he's starting the year already at high A, which is something you like to see as a 20-year-old. And in those small samples that he has had, he's looked really good. He's played a total of 87 games in the minor leagues, 19 homers, 10 doubles, 6 triples, 50 RBI, stealing 20 bases. While the average is a little bit low at 238, his on-base is 422, which is just absolutely insane. 528 slugging and a 950 OPS. There definitely are some concerns with the fact that he doesn't hit for a high average, but he's got crazy pop, crazy athleticism. I love the ceiling potential on a guy like Emmanuel Rodriguez, so I'm going to get crazy and say he's the best one in the Twins system. The Detroit Tigers farm system is horrible. It's not great, and even with an injury, I'm still going with Jackson Jobe. He's definitely their best prospect. We'll say this, haven't seen a lot of Jackson Jobe. We've only seen him throw 77 innings of professional baseball, and they've been a little bit sketchy. Low A, he was great. High A didn't look as dominant, but the stuff is there. He had one of the best sliders coming out of the draft class in 2021 that we've ever seen. His spin rate would have been the best in Major League Baseball out of any of those pitchers. He was 18 years old. Throws in the mid to high 90s. He's got really, really good stuff. Of course, health will play a big part in this, as well as the Tigers have really just had a hard time developing any sort of prospect. But if all things go right, Jackson Jobe will be an ace for the Detroit Tigers team in the future. Hoping for a speedy recovery. Second to last player in today's video, Chicago White Sox best prospect, Colson Montgomery. Montgomery also on the IL right now, so not going to see him play for a little bit. But when he does play, he's really, really fun to watch. Montgomery last year as a 20-year-old went from low A all the way up to double A Birmingham with the White Sox. 11 homers, 17 doubles, 2 triples, and 47 RBIs. Hitting 274 with a 381 on base, 429 slugging, 810 OPS. He's got crazy pop potential. Again, another one of these players who is a really good athlete. I actually thought he was going to end up being a third baseman, but the White Sox keep running him at shortstop. 6'3", 215, sweet left-handed swing. There's nothing not to like about Colson Montgomery. This dude is a ball player. And then last but certainly not least, we've got the Martian, best prospect for the New York Yankees, Jason Dominguez. He is probably one of the most polarizing prospects I've ever seen. Some people love him. Some people hate him. Some people think he's the next Mickey Mantle. Some people think he's a bust. Gotta say, last year, he did show up, though. He went from low A all the way to double A, did struggle in double A, but is starting the year off there this season, so it'll be interesting to see how he performs. Finished the year 120 games, 16 homers, 23 doubles, 7 triples, 59 RBIs with 37 stolen bases, hitting 273 with a 376 on base, 461 slugging, 837 OPS. Honestly, not fair to the kid. The names, the people that he was being compared to when he was originally signed as like a 16-year-old out of the Dominican Republic. He was given expectations that are almost impossible to match. And while his first year in minor league baseball back in 2021 was a bit disappointing, you gotta say there were really exciting things to see out of Jason Dominguez in 2022, including the power, the speed, the athleticism, all the things that were originally promised. 2023 will be a big year for Jason Dominguez in terms of how people view him as a prospect. He still only is 20 years old. He is very, very young, so there's plenty of time left. But seeing how he reacts to the double-A pitching for a full season will be huge as to what he looks like projection-wise. The tools are there, but can he put it together on the field? That is the big question. Jason Dominguez, though, definitely the best prospect in my opinion in the Yankees farm system. The ceiling is just too high. So those are the best prospects from every team in Major League Baseball this season, in my opinion. Again, just my opinion. You could disagree, agree. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking down in the comment section below. Let me know who your favorite prospect is from your favorite team. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it and you want to see more prospect content on the channel, as well as subscribe so you don't miss out on anything coming at you. Follow me on all my social media at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links are in description. That's where I'll wrap up today's video. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload, so click through those if you have not yet done so. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another video. Bye.